A bit dramatic, much? Party pooper. Hello, I'm the FanFic Critic. I read it, you listen. Today, we're going to be reading another South Park fanfic. And don't worry, I'm not possessed by Cartman this time around, so there shouldn't be any distractions, if you know what I mean. Today's fanfic is called Check Yes Juliet by Oncoming Storm 4. It's rated K, it's in English, it's romance, hurt, comfort, it's Kenny M and Butters S, and it has 2 reviews. And like the last fanfic, it's a slash fanfic. But hey, it's rated K, so it sounds innocent enough. So let's not waste any more time and let's look at the story. Oh my bloody God. Does this layout look distracting to you? It should. I mean, seriously, what the hell were they thinking when they plastered it looking like this? There's no structure at all, just a big blob of text almost. I mean, it's quite clear that the person has used the return key, but they didn't bother. It kind of looks like a poem in a sense, but there's like no spacing, so it still looks like a big blob of text. It's like every time they wrote a sentence, they hit enter. That's very distracting. It's not like Pretty Moppet's story where it's literally a block of text, but still, it's hard to read. Hi. Okay, let's read. I'm at home. It's 2:30 a.m. It's raining. I can't sleep. I can't stop thinking about him. Okay, there's an issue with this sentence. They forgot to capitalize the I in its, which is the beginning, is the beginning of the sentence. So the first letter of that word should be capitalized. Is he okay? Are his parents hurting him again? I can't let this happen. They forgot to capitalize the I in I. The I in I. The word I. How do you spell I? I. So, and everyone knows that for the word I, it's always capitalized. Always. So how could you mess up with that? How? Seriously, how? Not to mention, the word I is at the beginning of the sentence, so it should have been capitalized anyway. I can't let him hurt it anymore. Okay. Take a look at this word right here. You see? That's not a word. That was the author forgetting to add a space between the words I and can't. And seeing they forgot to put a space between the 2 words, they made a new word saying I can't. That's not a word. I have to take him back here to my house. I've lived alone for the past 3 months, and there's plenty of room in this big empty house for my boyfriend to live here too. I get up, get dressed, run downstairs, and run as fast as I can out the front door and to Butters' house. He has a nice big house. If only people knew what went on inside of it. Whenever he did something that was even the slightest bit displeasing to his seemingly perfect parents, his father would beat him, and his mother didn't care at all. Just thinking about all my beloved scars and bruises brought ears to my eyes. Brought ears to my eyes. Brought ears to my eyes. Brought ears to my eyes? Don't you mean tears? This is why you proofread your work before you publish it on the web, because if you don't, you come across looking like an idiot, especially if your fanfic is being debuted on my show, which you do not want that. Once his father broke his arm just because he'd gotten a C on a math quiz. Okay, the use of commas in this sentence should be fixed. Well, let's take a look at the sentence itself first. As you can see, the comma should be after the word once, not after the word arms. If it was rewritten properly, it should sound something more like this. Once, his father broke his arm, just because he'd gotten a C on a math quiz. That makes a lot more sense than having the comma be right after arm, because it just sounds like a fragment. Let's continue. Well, no more would my baby get hurt. I walked around the house. It was about 3 o'clock now. I find his window. It's boarded up because his parents are worried that either A, he'll sneak out, or B, I'll sneak in. They hated that he was gay almost as much as they hated me. I picked up a rock from the garden, which noon ever Come on, seriously, it should say no one, not noon. They forgot to put a space between the two words, so it's now one word. Which no one ever tended to and threw it up at Butter's window. I hit my target easily. I had great aim. I've been playing baseball since the 5th grade. Is that really relevant? No. Butters came to the window dressed in his Hello Kitty pajamas that I thought... Again, they forgot to capitalize the stupid I and I. Sometimes they'll capitalize it, but most of the time they don't seem to. That I thought were just too damn cute. He rubbed his eyes like a child would and looked out the window, eyes wide as the moon. Kenny, I saw him mouth. So how old are they supposed to be in this fanfic exactly? Are they teenagers? He walked away, and I stood... Again! They forgot to capitalize the I and I! Why am I surprised? I really shouldn't be at this point. I stood in his yard pouting until he came back, cell phone in hand. Seconds later, I... Who wants to guess what's wrong? A, they forgot to capitalize the I and I. B, they forgot to capitalize the I and I. C, they forgot to capitalize the I and I. Or D, they forgot to capitalize the I and I. Oh my god! The reason why it pisses me off so much is because I is probably the simplest word in the world. You can't mess up with I. And the fact that they keep on messing up with it makes me want to rip all my hair out. Let's continue. Seconds later, I got a text from him. Butters, what are you doing here? My parents are going to kill us both when they wake up. When the wake up? When the wake up? Don't you mean when they wake up? Kenny, not if we aren't here. Butters, then I'll just get in more trouble. Come on! How the heck could you spell trouble like that? How? I mean, seriously, how? By the way, that's not how you spell it. When I come back, Kenny, not if you come live with me. I stared up at the window then and saw him smile the cutest smile I had ever seen at his phone. Butters, gee, you mean it, Ken? Kenny, of course, now pack and get down here. He walked away from the window and I sat in the garden for the next hour while he gathered his most important possessions. He came out the door, hands full of various bags and backpacks, shoes untied, and a worried expression on his face. I think my dad saw me. Shh, don't worry, my love. Gag. I kissed him gently and wiped his tears. Then bent down to tie his shoes. The red Converse I had saved up to buy him for his birthday. Is that really relevant? No. Then I got up and grabbed his hand, which was a good 4 inches smaller than mine. Who cares? Let's run, not look back, and live a perfect life alone together. All right, Ken. He squeezed my hand tighter, and I took all the bags out of his hands. How could Butters squeeze Kenny's hands if his hands are occupied with bags? Then we ran as fast as we could back to my house. When we made it there, I just dropped all this stuff and grabbed his head and kissed him. I picked up all this stuff back up and told him way outside I want to Christian our new life with something special. When I came back out, I picked him up wedding style and carried him into our new home. I kissed him and... Wow, what does him and mean? Don't you mean him and, meaning putting a space between the two words so they're not one? I kissed him and he wrapped his arms around my neck. I sat us down on the couch, and while I held him and he looked up at me, arms still around my neck, I sang to him softly. Okay, I'm just gonna say what the lyrics are because I don't know the tune of the song and they have it in quotations like it's spoken word, so I'm not gonna sing it. Check yes, Juliet. Are you with me? Rain is falling down on the sidewalk. I will go until you come outside. Then he kissed me softly and we drifted to sleep. I'd make sure that every night of ours together would end like this. For him, my baby, my Butters, my sweet little cupcake, my boyfriend, my precious, my precious, my precious, my precious. Sorry about that. I got a little carried away. He deserved this kind of sweet perfection after escaping everything that he's been through. Our new life together would be even better than right now. All for him. If it wasn't, then I didn't deserve to live because I didn't give him all that he deserved. 3. Finn. Okay. This fanfic, story-wise, was okay. It was a cute story. But what makes it a bad story is the layout. Seriously. Do you expect any reader to be able to read this without getting a migraine after 30 minutes? No. Also, the fact that they kept on messing up with simple little grammar things, like having 2 words merged as one, and not capitalizing the I in I. Seriously. People, you need to proofread your work before you publish it on the web. You need to do that. You do. You seriously do. Okay? Because if you really care about your story, you will do that. Well, I'm the FanFic Critic. I read it, you listen, and you know what? I'm going to go watch some South Park.